Hello and welcome to... No, I'm going to wait till you stop laughing.
I'm not laughing.
Okay,
You're
good.
not funny.
Harsh. That's really mean.
You are quite funny.
That's not the dent
Have you
I
ever
needed
heard of
on
this
my
thing that you
confidence.
can only be fun or funny? You can't be both.
So I'm not fun?
No, I'm trying to think. Are you fun or funny? I think you're funny. You really make me laugh.
So I'm not
But
fun.
then,
Yeah, but
see,
I'm not
that's
fun.
the thing. Is they're both nice things. But if I tell you you're one of these nice things, all you hear is you're not the other.
No, but I
nice thing.
appreciate being funny. I think I'd rather be funny.
Everyone told me I was funny, and I took it quite badly.
Yeah. You are funny.
I genuinely, I think you're both, mate.
I think you're both.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Love you.
Hello and welcome to Cruise Next. My name is James Albarn. This is Elsa Grace. How are you, Elsa?
Great. I'm really funny, actually.
You're funny and fun. This is the podcast in which we watch a film, we discuss that film, then we dive into the credits of that film and we pick out a crew member, and from their filmography we arrive at our next film. We did that at the end of last episode where we watched Atonement.
Yes.
And we found a film from the filmography of...
Adam Richards, the location manager.
And that led us to...
The Bubble.
The Bubble.
We're almost at the nest.
That sounds like a baby crying for its mama.
That ain't no baby! I got him! And cut!
Now that was a great take.
Elsa, tell us all about Judd Apatow's The Bubble.
So, The Bubble was released in 2022 and it was shot through COVID and essentially follows a group of filmmakers, mostly just the actors, not really crew, because who cares about the crew, as they form a bubble so that they can shoot this movie and carry on working through COVID. And it is a bit kind of silliness. It is Judd Apatow, as James said. It's Apatow Productions. I think it probably helped them all a lot get through COVID, but it was quite badly received.
Very badly received.
So yeah, essentially it just kind of follows them in a bubble making a movie, and
Chaos
the
ensues.
movie is very, very bad, and they all kind of start to become quite disillusioned with what they're doing, and try to kind of break out of the bubble. They don't really want to be making this film anymore. So the producers hire security to make sure that all of the actors honour their contract and do not leave the bubble. Which then turns farcically bad, and one of the lead actors has her hand shot off by security as she tries to escape. And they finish the movie, they start doing press. While they're doing press, still in the bubble, it is sprung on them that they have also been signed on to do the next film of the franchise, which means they can't leave, which causes the actors to rise up and together escape the set of the
In a
movie,
helicopter.
which is Cliff Beast 6, because they've made 6 before. Sorry, to be accurate, Cliff Beast 6, The Battle for Everest, Memories of the Requiem.
Yeah. Elsa, what did you think of The Bubble?
James, what did you think of The Bubble?
I loved The Bubble.
Did you?
For 40 minutes.
So this movie is 2 hours and 6 minutes long.
Yeah, I went in thinking, because I'd seen the bad reviews. I remember it coming out during lockdown.
Yeah.
Seeing the bad reviews, thinking, I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah.
Went in thinking, this is going to be bad. Started watching it, kept laughing. I was like, I like this. And it has a lot of my favourite people in it. It's got Pedro Pascal, Keegan-Michael Key,
Fred Armisen.
Yeah. I like Karen Gillan.
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Peter Serafinowicz. Guz Khan, I love Guz Khan. Anytime he says anything, I just find him funny. Like, he's just one of those comedians. I just find him funny. And like, for 40 minutes of this film, I was thinking, this is good. I like this. This is a surprise. And then, it fell off a cliff. I think it was already off the cliff, to be fair.
The first 40 minutes was all right. And then it fell off the cliff. And in the last 5 minutes, brought it back around. Because as they're escaping on this helicopter, and Fred Armisen and Peter Serafinowicz, they're like on the ground.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what are we going to do? And then Fred Armisen is like, I mean, we just made a fun movie. And people can't really judge us for that, right? Like, it's during COVID and we did our best. And I was like, way to bring it back, guys.
Yeah.
Like, well done, Judd Apatow. Because, like, yeah, you do, at that point, you're like, just want this to end. This is so shit and horrible. I'm so bored. And then Fred Armisen, the man he's so great.
He also gets a gun out, and and Peter Serafinowicz is like, "What are you doing, my God?" He's like, "Oh no, it's just a prop, but maybe if I wave it at them, they'll come down."
It was, it was just silly, really, wasn't it? There was a lot about it that I found quite nostalgic as to shooting during COVID, like you having to go in for the COVID tests before you shoot and then going back to isolate and then going back in and doing a COVID test every morning that you shoot, the COVID zones.
Yeah.
There was a lot about it that I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I also don't know if we enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if
we're crew.
Because we're crew and we kind of like being in the film world. I don't know, maybe it worked for us better than it works for like people who just have no interest in that. But I was enjoying it for a while. I actually think the film for me fell down when the security arrived. And I thought that's where it got stupid. Where I was just enjoying them.
Where Leslie Mann is trying to escape and they
shoot her hand off
rollerblades because she's like, fuck this. And they shoot her hand off. I was like...
And the guy, I don't know who the actor is who plays the head security guard, but he really... I mean, it's all overplayed, but he like really overplayed.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy him in that film at all.
But like before then, where it's just kind of these actors trying to get along with each other, they keep getting put back in isolation for 14 days. I was enjoying it. And then when Guz Khan decides to he's like, I've had enough of this, I'm going, like they're doing yoga or something. He's like, no, this is bullshit, I'm off. And he just like runs out of the garden. I was like, I'm enjoying this is funny. And then it just, I think the security turning up is where it took the film in a direction that I didn't enjoy. I think if it had just stayed about... Because
actually, before that, it's quite believable.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's a lot of that is not just COVID. Like, there's a lot of times, I'm not going to name them, but I know there's projects for you. There's definitely projects for me where you're with crew and cast for such an intense amount of time, and you are just like, I cannot look at you, because I just want to punch you in the face, or you're having a bit of a setmance, or there's those dynamics exist outside of just shooting in COVID. So I think it was just quite good, and then they made it get a bit slapsticky and stupid, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of I would have. It's another film that's too long as well.
It did not need to be that long.
And I thought if it was 90 minutes, and it was just about them trying to make the movie, but without any of the silly security stuff, them being like tagged to track them, all that kind of stuff, being shot at.
I will
all
say
of
though,
that.
there have definitely been times in my career as an AD where I wish I could have tagged the actors. Illegal chat, but I
like,
wonder.
I just feel like if it had just been them trying to, because actually at the end of the film, they just, I think it's like during the credits, but it's like the guy who's shooting all the behind the scenes stuff has made a documentary of them trying to make the film.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, I'm not sure I would have necessarily wanted it to be mockumentary style, because I do think it's kind of overdone at this point. But I was kind of like, maybe if it had been a 90-minute sort of mockumentary of these guys just trying to make a film during COVID,
Yeah.
would have been perfectly serviceable, enjoyable. Yeah. You could have condensed it right down, kept the jokes that worked.
I think that the BTS guy, and like no one remembers his name.
Yeah.
It feels so bad, but like that's so accurate. Because BTS people, and like, look, I have friends who work in BTS, and I've worked with some really incredible like camera ops of BTS, and you know, like, but a lot of the time, I guess the stereotype is they're not part of main unit. They're not part of the crew. They're not real crew, and oftentimes, no disrespect, they do have a tendency to show up and record stuff that you're like, what are you doing? Do you think this is a conversation I want recorded?
Yeah.
And there were so many moments like that in this film that I was just cracking up because I was like, yes, yes. And like insane that that's a universal perception of that role.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? That, like,
it's that thing of, isn't it, where
they're just there and you're like, bro.
Everyone thinks they've like come to a realization before everyone else, and then you zoom out and you watch something like this and you're like, oh no, that is just how everyone feels about these things.
Yeah, and that poor guy is just trying to do his job.
Yeah. There's a bit where he's just like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing?
There's like a moment where they all get told they have to go back into isolation.
Yeah.
And he's like, so how do you feel? And she's like, fuck off. There's definitely been moments I wish I could have done that. But like you have to be like, oh yeah, really happy to be here.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a cool creative and
yeah,
like if anyone ever sees BTS and me saying that, it was very genuine.
Yes. She loves every project she works on, and as do I.
Everyone.
Every single one.
Bola, hold my hair.
Your hair is short. There is no hair to hold.
Oh, my hair.
I don't want to be here. I want to resign.
Bola.
I really don't want to. But I'm not supposed to be here.
Bola.
Where do I hold? Okay. Okay. No.
The Kate McKinnon as Paula, the studio head, or Paula. Mm-hmm. And every time we see her, she's in a different. She's either
in front of a different green screen,
safari, or she's on, and she's like, "Oh my god, I know these lockdowns are just so hard." And she's
that's
like,
a good impression, you know.
Okay. Do you remember?
Belfast.
In Belfast,
Yeah.
we were talking about what impressions can you do, and I was like, I actually can't really do any. I can do, and I was like, I can only do people that are like in my life or that I know that I'm close to. I can mimic quite well.
Yeah, that's pretty good, the Kate McKinnon, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
That cracked me up, and the moment where her and Peter's Serafinowicz are having a call, and he's like, we just can't finish the film. They're revolting. We don't have the budget. We don't have the, we can't finish it. And she's like, I love you. Get it? And then she goes on to another call and just shoots him down. She goes on to another call and she's like, I don't think that we can finish this film with the budget that we have.
With John Lithgow,
John Lithgow, and he goes, fucking finish it. Then it goes from him onto another Lee, who's like on a beach in Fiji, and it just like, and then John's shifts and he goes, I'm really concerned that the budget and the dinner that we have, and it's such a great representation of like passing the hot potato and how like all these higher ups that you can never just get a fucking straight answer and I just thought that was so funny and accurate, and I love Kate McKinnon.
I love John Lithgow. When John Lithgow appeared, I was like, that is the funny thing about this film as well. I guess because it was shot around COVID and it was probably one of the only films really shooting, they've got fucking everyone in it. Like, even
all
like
those
the main cast
must have been completely self-styled in their living rooms with the green screen.
The main cast alone is stacked, as I just mentioned. But then also you've got John Lithgow appears. Beck appears and like does a song for them, like on a projection screen. James McAvoy turns up just for a scene.
Love that.
And actually quite like that bit as well. Like he was quite funny.
She was like, "Why are you chasing me?" He was like, "Why were you running?"
And then they have like an awkward moment. She's like, we went on a date before, and he like hasn't remembered, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just getting a call," and then
he does
backs,
this. Which is like,
did we like this film? It feels like we liked this film.
I did. I mean, like, it's not a good film. It was one of those films that I was watching and then someone walked into the room and went, "What the hell are you watching?" And I was just like, this was unfortunate for me. They walked in at the moment that the influencer character played by Judd Apatow is teaching the baby dinosaur TikTok. Which obviously, if you know the context of the film,
it's fine,
it's because it's like, this is how ridiculous Cliff B6 is that they've put in
an influencer for our followers,
doing a TikTok dance. But obviously for my friend walking in, I looked like I just watched utter shit. And I was like, it's for the podcast, actually. But on a very real note, that is unfortunately a thing that is happening more and more. That like influencers are getting put in films, or I'm literally about to go off and shoot a movie now with influencers.
Yeah.
Or like in the audition process, they're asked how many followers they have, and so like that did, and like, I know why and I can appreciate why, but I did think that was funny that they were like spoofing that.
Yeah, I also enjoyed the bit where Judd Apatow. It's like the first party where they all meet, and Judd Apatow is standing there, and Keegan-Michael Key comes up to it. And she has no idea who he is. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I love your TikTok. We should do a TikTok dance at some point." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe, yeah." And then he just like walks off.
And she's like, "Who was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I also thought it was really funny with the BTS guy when he tries to talk to her. And she's like, "Sorry, who are you?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'm BTS." And then she goes completely serious, knocks the camera down. She goes, "If you want to talk to me, you have to talk to my mom." So random. Like, there were a lot of like really sort of funny little tiny, bits. Judd Apatow put his whole family in this film because I guess they were actually in a bubble.
Yeah.
They're all in it.
Yeah.
His 2 daughters, his wife.
Yeah, his 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Who's the other daughter in it?
Isn't she the stunt?
No, I don't think she is. No,
oh,
I thought that at first
because they're both in it. Should we look at the credits?
My phone's over there.
Okay.
You look at the credits.
I'll do it.
Because actually, no, it's not Judd. We keep calling her Judd Apatow. It's not. It's Iris Apatow.
No, it's not.
No, because Judd Apatow's the one from Euphoria, and that's not her.
Yes, it is, babe.
It's not. Look it up.
What is this film called?
The Bubble. She just looks a lot like Judd. Judd Apatow's not in it.
I think you're wrong.
I don't think I am.
Right.
3 minutes later.
Okay. So, is it Carla as the stunt girl?
Carla's the stunt girl.
That's Galen Hopper.
Crystal is played by...
I don't know, I can't find her. Ah, you're right. It's Iris Apatow.
Yeah, so Judd Apatow's not in it. We kept calling her Judd Apatow.
Oh my God, we have for this whole podcast. So then what was the other one?
The other daughter's not in it.
There are 2 Apatows in the credits.
Judd. Maybe he's got more than 2 daughters.
Maybe he doesn't.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apologies to
obviously
the
Judd is a
Apatows.
producer or an executive producer, but like...
Yeah, apologies to the Apatows. Replace wherever we said. Maybe I'll badly dub over.
Apology, because we're sure you're listening.
Yeah,
So we're really sorry.
it was Iris Apatow, not more.
They look so similar.
They really do, yeah.
So then, maybe it was Maud, but then why couldn't... I mean, I was on IMDb, but in the credits there are 2 Apatows.
Oh, interesting. Anyway.
Good stuff. Maybe Maud was in it and we just didn't see her.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a
Did cameo.
cameo. I don't know.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna make the world forget about all their problems. What we're doing is edgy. It's real.
Crystal just did a fucking TikTok with a dinosaur.
There were many moments that Fred Armisen had me in stitches in this. But the montage scene of him getting his COVID test. And he's kind of like, he's doing that thing, which at the start, they had a COVID nurse, or they had a special name, a COVID invigilator or something, who would do the test for you.
Yeah.
And it was fucking horrible. They would tickle your amygdala. Like, they go so far back, and you sort of were dodging them a bit. So he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm moving. He's like, I don't mean to move, and he keeps dodging. I thought it was really, really funny. And then it shows everyone kind of in their 2 weeks isolation in their rooms, and their sort of everyone's individual descent into madness. And he's just in his room making dinosaurs.
That was really good.
And he's like, this is Cliff Beast making love.
I already enjoyed that bit.
So good. He's so good. And you just know that was all improvised.
Yeah.
He's so funny. I'm so happy that he was in this film.
Yeah, I mean, the cast is great. I really enjoyed Pedro Pascal's performance. I really liked... I really enjoyed his really bad accent when he's acting, when he's doing this.
It's ambiguous Hispanic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Where did they learn to fly?
The line that really got me, because they're filming Cliff Beast 6, and I think David Duchovny says, we've seen this before, and he goes, yes, 5 times, I believe. It's so good. He's so funny.
His whole weird sex scene with Daisy Ridley in the mirror.
Yeah, that was weird.
He's taken acid and... Well, I think this is what I mean. The movie hits a point where clearly they just have all started to actually lose it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, this will be funny. We should do this.
I wonder how much of the script... I would really be interested to try and find the
actual
script.
Screenplay.
Yeah.
Right, how much of that was...
Because I feel like there must be... I mean, you've got a lot of... You've got a lot of comedic talent on the... Fred Armisen, Guz Khan, Peter Serafinowicz, they're all used to writing their own stuff anyway. So, how much of it is them improvising? Mm-hmm. And then also, how much of some of this stuff is just like you say,
yeah,
that would be funny.
I mean, I reckon there was probably, maybe a lot of it was improv, but I reckon a lot of it also was they must have just all been kind of spitballing, and because they would have isolated together, so maybe they had a bubble writers room where they would just kind of even just things the director, Fred Armisen's character, saying, I won Sundance with my film shot on an iPhone 6. Stuff like that is that's fucking great.
Yeah.
I do think that they must have just been writing it for a while together. But yeah, there was stuff in it that I could have done without.
Oh, I mean, I think I do think.
Oh, before I forget,
Go
that's
on.
what I wanted to say. The Pedro Pascal, Daisy Ridley, weird sex scene apparently was way longer.
Oh, really?
It was an actual sex scene.
Oh,
And then
really?
I think they got into the edit, and Judd Apatow was like, "Nah, it's too much."
It's weird.
And they had to take it out.
And that's the thing they chose to take out. Interesting.
And they left all the other stuff. The triangle of sadness vomit scene on the cliff.
I enjoyed that bit. I didn't mind.
Did you?
It.
I thought it
did
was
I?
funny when they were like, "What's wrong with whatever her name is, Leslie Mann's character?" And they look down and she's just floating. Going,
That's the funny. Yeah, actually, that's the
That
funny
was
bit.
funny.
The vomits, not that funny.
No, that was the funny bit.
The floating, because they've obviously like CG'd out the wires and stuff. That's the funny bit.
And then the two cliff beasts who were there for eyeline being like, "Oh,
they had some good lines. Actually, they had some
really
good
funny.
moments.
I thought they were great.
But I think it's what we said. It's like it falls down really when the security arrive, and it sort of turns into a kind of there's like this sort of weird almost action scenes in it, and I did quite like the Fred Armisen, David Duchovny. Is it David Duchovny? Am I saying his name right?
I think so.
Their fight scene at the end where they're basically just doing stage combat with each other. That was funny.
When they're like, "What are they doing?" And they're like, "I think it's the choreo for the scene 6 fight or whatever."
That made me laugh.
That was so funny. And they were like really trying to sell it.
But I think generally, the film falls apart because it's A, too long, and B, the security plotline is kind of weird and so I know it's a silly comedy, but it's like so unrealistic that it becomes like, I don't understand why there's a sniper who's shooting Leslie Mann's hand off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it gets weird for me.
I hated it so much. Up until that point, I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, okay, this is what it is now. Rather than it being actually a filmmaking spoof.
Yeah.
It's now just...
If it had been a 90-minute filmmaking spoof, I think it would have been a lot funnier and a lot... Well, like, it would have just... You'd have kept all the funny bits and it would have been a lot better.
But apparently, like, kind of filmmaking Spinal Taps or, you know, goofs or whatever, don't actually do that well. I think it's because the only people that are going to watch it and find it relatable and laugh are crew members. Yeah. There aren't loads of us out there. Like, apparently they just don't really do that well.
Have you watched The Studio yet?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't watched it yet. I hear it's very good. It picked up some Emmys.
Okay.
Recent.
But the people that...
Yeah, no, I know.
The people that
did that do
votes
well
to
with...
win the Emmys, they are...
Yeah, industry
people, right?
Did it do well with, like? Do you know if it did well with, like,
general public?
The general public. That's what
I don't know, because everyone I know loved it and were like, "Oh my god, that was so good." And there are bits in it that I actually was like crying, laughing at.
Yeah. And
then there are some bits that are so cringy because it's way too accurate that I couldn't watch it. Like, I think it's really well made, but all of my friends, all of my people that we talk about it are film people.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know. And I actually think maybe I tried to get my mum to watch it and she just like wasn't interested.
Well, interestingly, The Bubble, right? I watched most of it with my partner, who was not in the film world. And I was enjoying it, and she laughed like a couple of times, but she was not enjoying it at all. And I ended up watching the rest of it on my own because she just really got bored.
Evie's quite close to the film world, obviously, because you come home and I imagine tell her all your stories. So she's like a good litmus test, I think.
And she was like, I don't know if this is just working for you because it's about, like, are you like relating to the jokes?
Yeah.
And it wasn't working for her at all.
Okay, so yeah, maybe then.
Yeah. Like, she laughed at a couple of points, but they were kind of, you know, a bit more... They were less sort of filmy jokes and just sort of like funny, you know, funny things that are happening. I shout out to I don't know the actor's name. Apologies. the guy who I can't actually remember what his role on the film is, but the guy who's like
the really tall blonde guy.
Yeah.
Who's like, yeah, he's like the health coordinator or something on set, and he's like, they all said that you couldn't be my friend, but
yeah, I liked him. I thought he was funny.
I thought he was really good, and he really reminds me of someone. But I didn't write it down. I feel bad.
And actually, the other guy he sort of paired with as well, who's doing a similar job. They're both like looking after the crew and stuff.
Bowler.
Yeah, I think he was quite good. He was quite good as well.
Yeah, he's really good. He was very funny.
We get them in their reproductive organs. Their hormones are toxic and flammable.
Gio, you promised to honor and protect them.
Well, you silly little girl. Looks like Gio lied.
So it got 4.7 on IMDb and 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty bleak.
Yeah, that is bleak.
Not good.
I also enjoyed the line on Wikipedia. If you look up the film on Wikipedia, it does the brief description of the film, and then there's just a section on its own that just goes, "The film was not received well," and that's it. It's like, ooh, that's not good.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, do they care?
I also wondered as well if it was because it came out in a time where there was so much, because it was a weird time, pandemic. People were trying to work out how to make things in that time. It came out in a time where a lot of stuff that was coming out during the pandemic was pandemic related. Like there was all sorts of programs like clearly shot on Zoom and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that, like, at the time it came out, there was just like fatigue of just pandemic stuff. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm not saying that this is the whole reason the film hasn't been reviewed well, because it's not the best film in the world. But like, I do wonder if like we're being a bit more removed from it. You find the pandemic stuff less like not another one. You know what I mean? Whereas like during the pandemic, I do remember being fed up of like not another thing shot on Zoom or not another pandemic related thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There was a series that David Tennant and Michael...
Staged?
No.
What was it called? It was called something like that.
You know what I'm saying,
yeah.
though, right? Yeah, it's called like Unscripted, or it's like something like that. It's like...
Look it up so we get it right.
God. Oh, yeah. Most of this podcast is going to be us looking it up.
3 minutes later.
I haven't typed in the name yet.
I think it was called Staged, no?
It was called Staged, you're absolutely right.
You keep disagreeing with me and then having to look it up and then find out I was right.
Right, it's happened 2 times in your life, relax. Do you feel good?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I feel very smug over here.
Cut this out.
No, I'm not. Keeping that in. That's all the podcast is going to be.
I don't mind when I'm wrong, I hold up my hands.
Yeah, and I just love it when I'm right.
Yeah.
Staged.
Dickhead.
Yeah, sorry, there was the show with...
I can't remember now, can I?
I was saying
that is like a COVID thing that was shot that now I watch and I'm like, that's really funny. But at the time, I remember trying to watch that with my mum.
Right.
Because we love both of them.
Yeah, they're great.
And there was, to start off with, I was like, oh, that's really funny. And then after a while, I was like, I actually can't watch this. It's making me anxious.
Right.
And I just like couldn't get... So yeah, I think that is probably a real thing.
It's hard to know how much that would have contributed to the poor reviews of or reception of The Bubble, because, as I say, I don't think it was never going to win any awards. But
no.
I do wonder if, like,
considering that it was a COVID shot thing, I think they did very well. Like, they clearly had like 3 locations, which was inside their bubble mansion, the gardens, and then set.
Yeah.
Which, my God, they were just shooting one scene.
Yeah.
Over and over. Which again, I guess is like a budget thing. But like, that got really old. I would have preferred to have seen something else from Cliff B6 than...
Yeah. But maybe that is just how shit Cliff B6 is, do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess that's the joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was Fred Armisen's speech at the end when he was like, well, we were just trying to make something silly and fun in COVID. They can't hate us for that. Like, that is just kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, whatever they needed to get through.
I do wonder if that being in it, because it feels...
Was that a post-credit? Like, did they shoot that after...
Well, yeah, because that's what I think. Like, it's like, did they know as they were doing it, like, this isn't very good, but...
Yeah, they must have done.
Because otherwise, why would you... Because it feels like such an obvious reference to, like, how the film is. Like, but then, I don't know, would you know it was bad while you were doing it? Because, like...
Yeah, what are you talking about? I shoot stuff all the time, and while I'm doing it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Not going on my credits. You've never done that? You've never shot something and gone, well, this is horrible?
But I think that's a crew thing. I don't know if it's an actor thing. Do actors do? Mate, that probably do.
What are you talking about, though? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Peter and Fred thought this isn't very good, which they probably did have that thought because they've been doing this for years.
And they're class.
Like, the crew are pushing the film. They're the people that are like, you know? It kind of doesn't matter if they thought it was great or it wasn't. And they definitely, like, what actor would have thought that was great?
Yeah, true.
Should we be concerned about, you know, this level of vomit?
I do find the thing interesting of, like, that things about Hollywood tend to not do well with people who aren't involved in the film industry. Like, the general public are not really interested in things about Hollywood. Because I find that interesting because I fucking love things about, like, if it's a film shot about a film set, I'm like, fucking, I'm in.
There was a movie that... What's her name? Like, you really want her to be a lesbian and she's not.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yes. I love that you got that. Yes, Aubrey Plaza did a film called Black Bear, I think.
Oh, I really want to watch that.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I've got it on my watch list.
So good.
Right, okay.
It was really good. And it is super, like, meta-y because it's like a film about a film being made about a film being made. Or, like, it, you know, it's... And it was really, really good. And there's... I don't know. I think that people would still like that even if they're not of this world because there was a lot of it that was like a bit mind-bendy and a bit... And so I think people would have had enough in it to still find it interesting. But like as a crew member, I just loved it. And you can identify what everyone's role is really well. And I feel like a lot of the time, like there's a series that came out recently about crew working, and I haven't seen it. I really want to see it, but someone said to me, I think obviously because I am an AD, I think they were like, oh, you're not gonna like the depiction of ADs because that it's just not good, it's not accurate as to what we do, and you know, like, and that was kind of a bummer. Whereas this film, I knew every single person and what they did. They didn't need to spell it out, and like it was so good. So like, yeah, I don't know. There are some really good industry, you know, films or series out there. But yeah, they don't do very well.
That is interesting, isn't it?
And I think actually that Black Bear, that was really beautifully made. It wasn't just like I was liking it because I was like, oh yeah, it's me. It's my friends. Like, it was just a really well-made film.
I do think it's interesting. It's like, like, are we just so like... wrapped up in our own little... I think part of it is... I think the perception of what the film industry is like if you've never worked on a film set before to what it's actually like if you're working in it are like two completely different things, I think, to a lot of people. I think most people... I know it's a bit of a cliche, but I think most people do think it's kind of a glamorous job. It's kind of like, maybe some people don't even really see it as like proper work and all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, but for the people who actually work in the film industry, they know how hard it can be and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not like, obviously everyone has hard jobs, so I'm not like, but like, I'm not saying woe is us in the film industry that we have it hard, but like, I do think there's maybe a different perception of like what the reality of actually working on films is compared to what people think it is.
Yeah.
So then when people make stuff about how difficult it is to work on set, or how, or those kind of things, people are like, oh, shut up, you're working in films. It's like, it's fun and easy, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe there's that. That's maybe why they don't play as well. I'm just guessing, but...
Yeah, I think so. And I think from our perspective, those oeuvres are... we like them because it feels like validation or something in a way. And it actually, there's been moments where I've tried to show my mum things to be like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, it just, no matter how I try and describe it, it doesn't quite cut the mustard. And there was a commercial recently that a friend of mine produced with his production company for the film and UK Film and TV charity.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing it?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
a oneer.
Yeah.
And it's really, really intense. And it was so good. And I cried watching it because it follows a runner around. And the premise of it is like, look after each other, basically. Yeah. And like, look after yourself. And because a lot of the time when you're on set and, people are tired, people are stressed, like, everyone's like thinking bottom line, and sometimes people get caught in the crossfire of that, and people aren't always treated like people. And it seemed almost a little bit ridiculous, like all of the stuff that happens to this runner in the space of like 90 seconds and the way people were talking to him and things like that. But every single thing that happened to him,
I've seen happen
or has happened to me when I was a runner.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I cried watching it because I was like, oh my God, this is like one of the best representations of film sets that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we're very lucky. We're very blessed to do what we do. It is an absolute privilege. And we've both worked very hard to be where we are. But most of the time it is an absolute joy. I had a moment on set 2 months ago. I was doing something with Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
And I just started crying because I was so happy. I was like, I can't believe this is my job. I'm so lucky. But there is a lot of it that I wish that my friends...
I got paid to watch a football match.
Yeah. But sometimes I wish that people knew what it was like. And because all people see on the outside is like, you get a lot of time off. And then when you are working, you kind of just don't really answer your phone all day. And that's kind of all they see.
Yeah.
And so
And actually those moments where we do feel like, and we're not moaning, but where we do feel like that's a win, like the football thing or like the Hugh, like they don't happen that often. Like,
no.
Do you know what I mean? And like, yeah, I just don't think people realise what, and I think it's a fault of the industry in part because they do. There's a lot of the sort of the only things the public really see, unless they're the kind of people that are watching making of documentaries on DVDs of films and stuff, which even then are like obviously nicely put together so it doesn't make it look like it was a horrible film to work on.
Even behind the scenes are going to be heavily... They're not going to show that no one put weights on the easy up so it blew away.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that, like, the runners didn't change the bins and then they split and went...
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to see that stuff because we don't show it.
I think that the public's perception of film is very polished because all they see is that stuff, premieres, award shows, and then the films themselves. And it's like, you're not seeing the runner having to do all this, crap and being treated badly and paid poorly and, you know, all that stuff.
Or like the lighting van showed up late, and so then the, you know, electrical were behind, which then meant like the SFX set for too long, and so then they're pissed off because like there's so much that isn't shown. But then I think it's like giving birth in the way that like it can be so incredibly stressful and terrible and painful, and like you just want to quit and cry, but then you finish and you wrap. And then, like, in the days that follow, you're like, oh, yeah, really lovely crew, actually. That was really lovely shoot. And you, like, totally forget all about it. And so I think, like, this film, The Bubble, that end bit where they're all doing the press and they're like, oh, my God, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
And it's like, it is kind of like that because you just forget. You get, like, the adrenaline is gone. You get that rush is gone. And then you're just sort of left with, like... do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. Completely
it's quite well done, I think.
Have you ever watched there's a documentary, I think that was on the DVD when it came out, of The Social Network, but you can find it on YouTube. And it's like an hour long. And that, I don't know who made that and like how it got put on, like how it got released, because it makes it look like a nightmare. Like,
I mean, it probably was.
It doesn't make David Fincher look like a fun man to work with. Like, you see him berating like boom ops and like all sorts of things. Like, it's really like, who put this out? It's an interesting watch though. You should watch it. And The Social Network is like an incredibly well made film. But like, I'd recommend seeking that out because it is like really interesting how much they've included that you would have thought like that's never getting put in the marketing material of this film. But it might, you know, if you don't work on a film set and you know, it might give you a good idea of like what it is like sometimes.
Also, watch that UK Film and TV charity one-shot video. It's not very long.
It's like 4 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was... I thought it was great. But again, it's fairly bleak. And look, it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
We're very lucky to do what we do. And most of the time, it's great.
Yes. That was The Bubble.
Point being, to bring it back, that like, I think a lot of it was like, obviously like, it's all farcical and a bit slapsticky, but like I didn't feel like it was a million miles away as to what it is.
And we
like
could relate to things and and like I like the bit when he was introducing the COVID zones and he's like, so the blue, that's for the actors, obviously the most important, and then there's the crew, which is the second most important, and then there's the office people, you know, like you don't really worry about them. Like it's those kind of things. It's like,
it's quite funny. Yeah, I thought it was.
That is the only thing. I think it would have been nice if you'd have had some characters. They wouldn't have to do much. You could have included them a bit like the guys who were playing the stand-in for the Cliff Beasts. Just a couple of like crew members, because you'd never get the sense of like.
Where are the crew making
the grip, or you don't even really see them. Like, do you know what I mean? Often it will cut from the set, and it will cut to like Fred Armisen sitting at his monitor. And maybe that's
and he's with Peter. There was one that I recall, one crew member, and that was the script supervisor.
Yes.
When Karen Gillan, she's like,
all my lines are gone.
Like, where are all my lines? And he goes, no, you've got lines. Has she got lines? And she goes, yeah, just non-verbal ones.
Yeah. But maybe that's a consequence of shooting it during COVID, is that they were just limited on the number of people they could have, and that's...
Yeah, but then I reckon they would have just, I mean, sets that I've been on, they would have just been like, oh, do you mind just standing here with a clipboard and pretending that you're, you know, like they would have just got crew to like jump in, but maybe they really had like very, very, very reduced crew.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't
surprise me. So, Bubble, what would we rate it out of 5?
I want to pick it.
Go on.
Out of 5. Oh, it's got to be Cliff Beasts, isn't it? Out of
Yeah.
5 Cliff Beasts, what would you rate the bubble?
It's a difficult one, because like I was really enjoying it.
It's because you really liked it, but you think it's a bad film, so you don't know if you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like talking about it, but I didn't really like it. That's the thing. I really liked it to a point, and then the whole security thing and that last hour of the film, it's a tough watch. At points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
It's not good. And like it did, I lost my patience with it a bit. I was like, oh, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 2? 2 out of 5? 3 out of 5?
I think it was a bad film.
5 out of 5?
I think it was a bad film, but I bring it back to Fred Armisen's speech at the end of the film. They were just trying to do something fun during COVID. Can we really fault them for that? And like I laughed quite a lot in this film.
Laughed quite a lot.
There were moments that made me laugh quite a lot. So I'm gonna say like
I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3.
I'm gonna go 3.
Yeah, it's got a problematic
3
second
Cliff
half, I
Beasts.
think. Not
Yeah.
problematic in like, oh, it's racist, but like problematic.
It just wasn't
Doesn't
very good.
work.
Yeah.
But like
3.
But like Mark Kermode always says, his like bar for comedies is like, he calls it the 6 laugh test. And it's like, does it pass the 6 laugh test? And you've got to laugh out loud 6 times when you're watching the film. Well, not like out loud.
I?
Not out loud necessarily, but like you've
think
got to
I-
laugh 6
yeah.
times. And I laughed much more than 6 times, just even the first half an hour. I was like, that's funny, that's funny, that's funny. There was so many bits I found funny.
But my thing is I feel like the things that I would rate down are not things that are like I'm not trying to give them grace because they were shooting it during COVID. Like the things that I thought were bad with executive decisions that could have been made well in advance, not budget things, do you know what I mean? Like the vomit stuff, all of the second half, the shooting off of the hand, like they were big like
Bad
storyline things that like just didn't need to happen, which then makes me be like, oh no, the badness is in the bones. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, correct.
So then I'm two Cliff Beefs.
Do I go back down to 2?
But they were really funny, but you stay, because then we'll say 5.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it deserves 6.
No, but I also don't think it necessarily deserves the whatever it was on Rotten Tomatoes, the 20% or whatever.
20%.
I do think it's kind of better than that.
Yeah.
I think the cast are good enough that
50%.
Yeah, I think the cast are good enough that they elevate it to a point where I'm like, it's like if it wasn't for the cast actually,
Yeah.
this film would be a struggle. But because you have people like Fred Armisen, Guz Khan, Peter Serafinowicz, Pedro, Karen Gillan's pretty funny in it.
I thought Leslie Mann was
Leslie
really funny
Mann's
in it.
really funny in it.
Yeah.
Irish Apatow, like they're the cast in general, the guys who are playing the Cliff Beasts,
Yeah.
they show up for it.
Yeah.
At least, I think.
But
so.
they didn't have anything else to do, did they?
No, exactly.
So, 5
Cliff Beasts. So, now is the time in the podcast where we dive into the credits of that film and we pick our next film. Elsa,
Yeah.
today you have the choice of the chief meteorologist, Richard Wilde. Not heard that before on the credits of a film. That's amazing. Laura Schalke, the hair and makeup supervisor. Or Dino Harry Coldham, the plasterer.
The meteorologist is wild.
That is wild.
What did they do on this?
I don't know. Predicted the weather? That is what meteorologists do, is it not? But do you need...
No.
What, isn't that what a meteorologist does?
Don't they predict meteors?
No, I think a meteorologist is a weather person.
Are you Googling it?
I'm Googling it.
And then
3 for 3. Yeah, weather.
weather.
And to be fair, Earth's atmospheric phenomena. So it's a bit of everything.
So I was a little bit right on that one then.
Yeah, a little bit right.
I feel like they were too good for BBC Weather, Met Office Weather. They had to get a whole. Dino's a great name.
Dino is a great name.
What did he do?
Plasterer. He's called Dino.
Dino. What was the other person?
Laura Schalker, hair and makeup.
I feel like you're
supervisor.
trying to distract me with cool
with names and
roles.
yeah. Trying to lead you down a path, maybe.
I don't want to do another bad one. And I feel like those might be bad ones. You always you only put one good one in.
No, sometimes I put 2 good ones in. But this week I have put, well, I don't know because I haven't seen them. But I've seen one of them.
You have seen one of them.
I've seen one of them. But I don't know if it's good. But I'm thinking it's probably better than some of the others. But which one that is, who knows?
I'm going to be safe and I'm going to go for hair and makeup, actually.
Well, I think you've potentially made the right choice there. Because
can't tell if you're being
next
smart.
time we will be watching F1, the movie. You like F1?
I love F1, but I haven't watched it on purpose because I'm nervous about it.
Well, then it will be an interesting ride, won't it?
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's Apple TV, and actually, Apple TV...
They make some premium stuff.
They really do, yeah.
They really do.
The
So,
studio.
join us next time when we will be watching F1. Thank you very much for joining us this time. And we will see you very soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.